The unnamed protagonist returns home from a court hearing. After briefly exploring his empty house, he goes to his workshop to start working on his magnum opus. After he asks the first layer, he starts having hallucinations about his past encounters. The man was an ambitious young painter who used his wife as a model for his painting. Soon, his wife became pregnant and she bore a daughter. After she gave birth, he decided to spend more time working on his paintings and left his wife with raising their child. After buying a dog for the family, he started to have drinking problems due to constant stress and noise outside his workshop. He attached a muzzle to the dog, but pretty soon rats started to put even more stress on him, although the rats were more likely a figment of his schizophrenia. The dog might have later been killed by him or attacked by something. His talent started to slowly decay and his vision for painting became twisted. He began to drive away his friends by painting gory and horrific works for simple jobs, including a set of illustrations for Little Red Riding Hood. After a long period of neglect, his wife decided to burn his paintings, including his most cherished work, The Lady in Black. He had a drunken fit and apparently beat her, driving her to leave with the child. He tried calling her multiple times but failed to reconcile with her. After some time, he got a phone call telling him that she was critically injured in a fire. She ended up horribly disfigured, but their daughter survived. After the fire, he took his wife, now wheelchair bound, back home so he could take care of her and their daughter. His drinking problem continued due to constant distractions of their presence. After regaining her ability to walk, the wife was neglected even more because her husband thought she lacked beauty. After the painting had another drunken outburst, the wife committed suicide in the bathroom, either by drowning or slitting her wrist in the tub. In the present day, it is revealed that he went insane and took 6 body parts of his wife to work on his painting. Her skin as the canvas, her blood as the overlay, her bone marrow as the undercoating, a brush made from her hair, her finger for smearing, and her eye as the spectator. The neutral ending shows that the artist was working on a portrait of his wife as the masterpiece. He seemingly succeeds in creating the painting. He steps back to admire it only to see the figure of his wife devolve into a mutilated figure that proceeds to taunt him. Horrified, he grabs the painting and hurls it into a room full of identical paintings, all of which begin to laugh. It is revealed that the painter spent years shutting his house working on the same picture multiple times trying to perfect it. If the player enters the room where the artist threw the paintings into, it is revealed that all the portraits are well made and resemble the artist's wife, but he can only see them as disfigured mess. Returning to the studio, he unveils a blank canvas and begins working on the next painting as the screen fades to black. The bad ending is much the same, but this time he puts his child in the painting too. He then realizes the horrible mistakes he's made and that he can never bring them back no matter how many times he tries. So he goes to the room upstairs and burns all his previous paintings along with his finished work, and apparently dies in the fire. The good ending ends with a portrait of himself as his final attempt. Being finally satisfied, he decides to hang it in the room upstairs. The next shot goes to his painting on a display at a museum among other famous Victorian artists. The DLC add-on tells the story of the painter's daughter coming back to her childhood home to face her past. Exploring the destroyed home with a flashlight, she reveals her experiences and witnesses the full scope of the tragedy that has swallowed up the family. During the course of these relived memories, there are different outcomes depending on the daughter's actions. These include deliberate choices such as heading more often towards the mother or father portrait while exploring, which will lead to the remembered dialogue portraying the mother or father respectively in a more favorable light. Non-deliberate choices involve the daughter having to perform in-game tasks that often affect an interaction with the father. One example involves the daughter creating artwork where the daughter could create childish drawings with crayons, earning harsh disapproval from the father, or where the daughter can paint along with the father's suggestions, earning praise if done correctly. These outcomes can lead to the daughter either viewing the father as a harsh man who never wanted anything but a protege, or viewing the father as a caring man who had trouble showing it. The good ending occurs if the memories led to the daughter viewing the artist favorably. Upon entering her old bedroom, the daughter sees a portrait of her with a flower, her inheritance by her father. She views this portrait as an apology expressed in the only language the artist ever truly knew. Seeing the father as a tragic figure who was driven insane and oppressed by the memories of the house, takes the portrait and burns the house down. As the house burns, the daughter leaves accepting she cannot understand the artist but can forgive him. The portrait is later shown hanging in the daughter's home, while the daughter admires her own child's drawings. However, the scene ends with the daughter criticizing her child's choice in color, mirroring the same statement the artist made years ago, while the portrait distorts. The bad ending occurs if most of the memories led to the daughter viewing the artist negatively. Upon entering her old bedroom and seeing the portrait of her, the daughter continues having flashbacks of the artist yelling at her for crying and making noise. Still viewing the portrait as an apology, the daughter thinks of the artist's smugness and thinking a painting will resolve her bad childhood. Viewing the portrait as not enough of an apology, in a room filled with bad memories, the daughter smashes it against a dresser, the action inadvertently knocking over a lit candle. Fire engulfs the room, leading the ceiling to collapse, both trapping and burying the daughter and burning the house down. The true ending appears if the daughter collects all 9 of her crayon drawings present throughout the house and is able to rearrange them with the lights on to reveal a larger portrait of her. In darkness, a hidden sketch of a large rat reveals a map of the house, showing a marked location the daughter can now find. Realizing her father planted this clue knowing she would find it, the daughter realizes her true inheritance is seeing the world as her father did. Upon following the map and finding a covered canvas, the daughter remembers being told that insanity runs in the family and decides to let it run. This ending closes on the canvas being unveiled to show the same first layer the artist started with for his story, and the decrepit room appearing bright and intact as it had for the artist. Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of History Behind the Horror. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give this video a like and share it. It really does help us out a lot over here on this channel. And if you would like to see more History Behind the Horror of horror characters or even non-horror characters, make sure you guys subscribe because we got more things coming up soon that I'm sure you wouldn't want to miss. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of History Behind the Horror.